So HMRC enquiries, what does that mean? Basically, it's where you get the brown envelope of death on the doormat. Quite why HMRC can't use better quality envelopes, I don't know. But anyway, you get the envelope on the doormat and it's HMRC asking you about your tax affairs, asking you to prove various things. Laura, do you want to talk through a bit about some of the things we see, the way people need to respond to it? Because it can always be a pretty nerve-wracking time.
A lot of people will go along the lines of, well, we're doing everything right. You know, why would HMRC look into our affairs? And the reality is, I suppose, in terms of our experience and the tax returns that we do, we haven't had that many enquiries opened. Those that have been opened have been closed quite quickly. But we do get people come to us occasionally who have had an inquiry opened and need some support with it. When it comes to filing the tax return, it's self-assessment and you can make that decision. For example, I've worked full-time outside of the UK because I've obviously worked more than 35 hours per week, or I'm non-resident because of this reason or that reason. When HMRC open an inquiry, they are going to ask for evidence to support that. And whilst I suppose it's one of those where you need to make sure that you are keeping appropriate records, the quickest way to close down an HMRC inquiry is to be able to answer all the questions.
And come with evidence, right, to show why you're able to answer them. Yes,
exactly. It is having the evidence, I say on a real-time basis, but when you start kind of digging things out months down the line, HMRC are going to start dousing.
And what sort of things do they ask for?
They can ask for everything. I mean, I suppose if we're looking at residents, for example, they might ask for travel calendars kept on a real-time basis. They might ask for, if it's to do with work, they might ask for timesheets. If it's to do with a home, they might ask for evidence of the deeds of the property or the rental agreement, evidence of who was on the electoral roll to see, for example, whether you have a family member that's living in the same place as you.
Airline tickets, that sort of thing, I guess, when it comes to travel.
Passport stamps, anything like that, they can ask for. And again, it's one of those where from an audit perspective, I mean, basically they're doing an audit of your information. So if you're in a position to be able to provide, here's my audited information, ideally if you can have a date, like a timestamp to show that you've kept the information on a real-time basis.
It's one of those things, isn't it, that photos like on an iPhone have become quite useful because of the data that's in them, because it gives a GPS stamp. We've had clients use that, haven't we, as a way of showing HMRC where they've been. And we always tell people, don't we, look, when you're overseas and it's relevant to your residency position, just take lots of photos. Yes.
And there are various softwares nowadays that will track your timing as well to kind of, I suppose, provide you with that audit trail in terms of where you've been. And again, sometimes like to be able to take the photos as well as that to prove that, that's where my phone was, but also I'm here too with my phone.
Selfies, isn't it? Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And look, I can speak from personal experience of a tax inquiry many, many years ago now. It's not a nice experience, and I actually dealt with it on my own, which in hindsight was probably not the best thing to do, because I felt, you get a case officer on the phone and they're very specific on what it is. And I must admit, the thing I found difficult when I was investigated was it was a genuine error, but there was a sense that I don't think it's a genuine error. I think you were trying to hide it, which was quite stressful. And I ended up getting quite a big penalty. But yeah, I guess the message for everyone is, if you get these letters, get in touch with us. We've got a lot of experience dealing with these sorts of inquiries. It's so much nicer to feel that you've got, professional help by your side. And sometimes they can get a bit messy. You were speaking to a client recently, I think, and it's been going on for 9 months?
About
a year,
that.
maybe.
Possibly getting on for a year.
And it's just back and forth. Some of the letters are pages long, aren't they, from HMRC saying, well, we want to decide whether or not you were there, anywhere. And sometimes it is difficult to prove it, right? I think there was a situation where he'd gone into the London office of his firm to meet some friends for drinks on a rooftop bar, and HMRC were like, no, that was a work day. And it's like, no, it wasn't. And it's like, how do you prove that, right?
Yeah.
Affidavits from other employees and all sorts.
Yes.
So it's good to get in touch and make sure you plan how you go back, because I think we've seen a few where people you don't want to rub HMRC up the wrong way.
Yeah.
And if you get into the situation where a case officer decides there's something dodgy, it can become very problematic. So coming at it from a very professional perspective, it's a bit like with lawyers, right? Like, it's better to get a lawyer to write a letter because then it's written in lawyerese and it doesn't become personal. But a lot of people try and deal with them on their own, and then I think it can become a bit unstuck.
Yeah.
So get in touch if you get the brown envelope of doom.